What's going on? My name is Dallas, aka Inferness. Welcome to the Thetekkitrealm, Internet Time Travelers. They exist. A certain type of species. Today we're going to be covering 3 times Internet Time Travelers have not only existed, but have predicted death accurately. There's going to be examples here where literally people have predicted deaths of individuals years sometimes in advance, only to be completely right. Not only that, but there's even examples of times that they predicted other insanely specific things that have become scarily accurate. What is it with time traveling and its tendency to end up actually being real? Something doesn't seem to be adding up, because the last time I checked, DeLoreans kind of went out of style. So, unless something changed, and I'm not up to speed with it, literally, then we have something to investigate. First example that we have is 2020 Vision. The granddaddy of them all, at least when it comes to YouTube. 2020 Vision started their channel, and at first, it was one big perplexing mystery. No one knew what was going on, and it was for that exact reason that everyone had their pants in a twist. Even though it was quite apparent what had happened, still, there was question in the air, because no one had seen something like this before. But of course, there were other people who made claims that not only that, but it went further as to actually have ties with real-life things. People getting messaged with coordinates to show up to a place in order to have a meetup of an actual cult. The mystery of 2020 Vision was not long-lasting. Only a couple of months after initial speculation was at its peak, the official owner of the channel came out explaining how they had done it. Nonetheless, it's not impossible for certain individuals to have used the hype surrounding 2020 Vision as a means to lure potential unsuspecting people into something else, completely separate and far darker than just a fun ARG. This is why I reiterate, in various ways, the surface web is truly more dangerous than the deep. The channel owner revealed the whole thing as just being one big stunt, but that wasn't the case when it came to some of these other things. Now, of course, one of the most infamous ones, Willie 2024. Now, despite what the name would suggest, 2024 was not the year that this happened. It was the year that they were predicting, or at least the year that they said that they came from. Willie 2024 first appeared in 2008. In that year, they went on multiple forum posts, and they posted things about their time casually, like no one had predicted the fact that some random dude on 4chan and then on something awful forums was just basically from 2024, essentially. Like most claims of storybook-type experiences and time-traveling adventures, those who strive to come out as having actually experienced such events are obviously discarded into the stale meme bin sooner than later. The type of examples that you'd see in your YouTube feed on semi-regular occasions, to others which may be more infamous in their own historical footnote. However, almost none stir as much controversy, confusion, and mystery as Willie 2024. This user proceeded to explain a backstory out of seemingly nowhere, so elaborate and unpredictable that it would have been rather comedic, if not anything else, for the context of the situation. An internet chat room was typically a place for civilized conversations and friendly disagreements, not the sudden admittance of temporal incorporality. But Willie 2024 didn't hold back, predicting things that would, years later, end up taking the internet by storm. And they were just going about their business as if nothing was unusual. It really took until someone actually brought up how something they'd mentioned basically sounded somewhat odd coming from just all the other peasants that were living in the actual year of 2008, and that's how the whole thing spiraled out of control. Willie 2024 ended up revealing the fact that he knew that certain things were to take place in the future, involving some stuff which could have been essentially assimilated as being Bitcoin, Donald Trump, and even Stephen Hawking dying. Not only that, But if we were to take these claims for more than just a grain of salt, then we would start to understand that this person also had predicted that by the time 2024 came around, a company just casually invented time travel. And that's how this guy basically went back, Cyberdyne style. I bet he can go back and meet Albert Einstein or even Jesus, LMAO. What a legend. The current capabilities don't allow it. I would not want to live out a life in a time unfamiliar to myself anyway. IVMRA was briefly working with a different approach years before I worked there, using some of Hawking's work. But after his passing and a major setback due to a pandemic soon after, we never finished it. Many people could have just claimed any type of thing back in 2008. This was the unholy year of everything going wrong. And lots of things in 2008 were basically very mysterious, and that's why it's one of my favorite years. Chances are it's probably not the same for other people, but I don't care. Now, 2020 Vision, Willy 2024, both have years in their name, but something else just recently came about, which also caught the attention of certain people. And by certain people, I basically mean everyone. And your mom. A user by the name of _ had a Twitter account, something we haven't seen so far on this series. Twitter's involvement in this. Now we've had 4chan, Reddit, YouTube of course, but now Twitter has entered the playing field. An account which was previously unknown, which had barely any followers at all, tweeted a couple of tweets a long time ago. A couple of things which came into the public's eye afterwards because of some particular aspects of it. And that was the first tweet being the death of Queen Elizabeth, the Queen of England, on the exact day that she actually died. Except multiple months before. And it just so happened to be that even before then, they tweeted another thing, which said that the world was going to basically end in 2060. And that there was going to be a major announcement regarding some political person in 2022. So, right now. The chances are that this is yet another case of extreme amounts of content being produced, only to then have a 100% chance of being right, eventually. But if that's the case, predictably, there would need to have been hundreds, if not thousands of combinations, of days and even deaths of other people this account would have been tweeting for, each one having their own tweet. Tweets cannot be posted unlisted. Someone surely would have caught on. Now, we could just make the same exact claim that they just tweeted a whole ton of times, and then they just deleted all the ones that were wrong. And that's true up to a certain extent. The only problem is, going back on any single analytics website which would monitor all of these different statistics of any profile on Twitter or anything else, the entire time, up to the point where the account gained all the followers, there was no other tweets. So unless they had deleted all the tweets before the day had started, meaning they still somehow had the ability to time travel even a whole day beforehand, or there's something else afoot. The one thing that is interesting about the whole thing is the fact that one person bought the account and changed it to their own personal branding and name. The original account even says this account was purchased by this person. So this person also goes by another name, 0x, so on, and their bio indicates that they are someone who enjoys technology. That would mean that maybe there is some form of new type of AI which can basically use advanced information to just accurately predict certain things, and then also maybe do a couple other like workarounds to make it look a little bit more legit. And this could just kind of be an Easter egg of that. Maybe this person bought the account because they thought that whatever bot was made in order to make this real was fascinating and they wanted to investigate it, or they just wanted some free clout, because that's also probably it. So as a brief summary, we have 2020 Vision, which predicted hundreds of celebrities' deaths accurately. using a bot which went through Wikipedia. But then after that, we have this person who made a Twitter account and accurately predicted a death of a very influential person multiple months beforehand. Both can be explained through basically the same strategy. But what can't be explained so much is Willy 2024. Some people have claimed certain things. Other people have also tried to debunk it. Tons of people have came out and said that they were Willy 2024. But overall, there's no conclusive answer. The problem with the internet, which is essentially the same exact thing on how nothing could ever get deleted, that's pretty much why basically nothing could ever be confirmed either. Because it's just kind of like a desktop that hasn't been cleaned since 2008. It's just all a mess. But the one thing that is for sure is that the person who's behind Willy 2024 clearly knew what they were talking about, because that's some level of thing that I don't think any random person who's just surfing memes on the internet is gonna just want to start talking about otherwise. But either way, these are the 3 examples of the time travelers on the internet, which weren't really time travelers, but yet some were at the same time and yet still kind of are, which predicted death. If you're interested in more ridiculously scary, cringe, confusing, and weird things, then you want to be subscribed to this channel because we make videos about that all the time. This has been YouTube Unsolved. I'll see you in the next one and you'll see me. Until then, goodbye.